the later issue. Okay. Okay, Dan.
Okay.
I'll tell you what, Dan. You ever play like? I mean, really any game. It could be a playoff game, could be a regular season game. You ever do that, and then like after you're just like thinking about one dumb decision just over and over, and you just ruminate
Oh
about it.
yeah.
Because that's me right now
Oh
with that
yeah.
pick six on the Zag route,
Can't
on the Zug route.
you can't change the past. Honestly, yeah, Boz and I were a little confused. We actually thought you might have slipped your button or something.
Nah, sure didn't. I kept assuming he would bite on it, and he didn't. And I just threw it anyway. I was like, oh. I'm gonna move my shit here. I pray to God that everything's working. This was all very thrown together. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, it's finally playoff time here in the Better League, and what a way to start things off here. I am joined for this Chiefs Raiders matchup by Dan. How's it going?
Hey, I'm doing well, Connor. Second playoff broadcast. We're gonna have a great day, a great night of Better League football. I'm excited. This is just one of them, and pretty exciting matchup. CMAS and Phil, they know each other well. Bitter division rivals in this reboot. It should be a fun one.
Yeah, man. It's gonna be a party. I mean, this is a matchup that we've seen already, obviously, a few times in this rebooted league. It's one that Phil has dominated. Do you know, has CMAS been able to beat Phil since we've done the reboot, or has he been over?
I didn't really look too much into it, but I've never really witnessed it. And I
Right.
know Phil is 6-0 in the division this season, and I know they definitely played at least one wild card game where Phil smacked him. So it hasn't been a good matchup for CMS.
Hello, Justin, and hello, Boz. Yeah, I mean, so Justin, the audio, whatever, may be wonky. This is my first stream on a new computer. There may be some growing pains. It is what it is. As long as it's good enough, that's all that we're going with. It's Harrison with the throw out of sack, had the corner route open, but the Raiders strong safety blitz there screamed at him, and now we have an early third down.
Yeah, Gunnar Harrison, one of those AI transfers from the old league. Been pretty good for Phil. Got him to superstar dev. We'll see what he can do.
Absolutely, as we now have a third and four pressing up. We're going to see a lot of man coverage on third down. Has the drag open. Instead, goes to the deeper crosser, the dig route, if you will. And that's a big throw out of Gunnar Harrison. Under duress, was about to get sacked and stepped up and delivered.
Yeah, I think that's Michael Thomas. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Phil,
Slant
Phil
route? That's not
likes those. Phil will prefer, sometimes the slower receivers with good route running.
Yeah.
Michael Thomas, the quintessential one.
Yeah, him and Austin kind of have the same mindset when it comes to receivers, where it's like they're not, a lot of the league, sometimes including myself, kind of like sell out for speed, and they're just like, they don't really
Hmm.
care about speed. They want that good, crisp, reliable route running, and it's worked for both of them. So gotta give credit
Absolutely.
there. It is Michael Thomas. Thank you, Boz. And shout out to Boz real quick. First time ever in the booth. I've listened to a little bit of it back. I can only listen to so much without breaking out in hives because of the way the game went. But Boz, you did a great job in the booth. Thank you so much for joining. And of course, Dan, fantastic as always. Your second and four, trapped on the D line. Look out here. Ooh, Gunnar Harrison misses there in the out route, which was open.
That wasn't a really good throw. Another one, I think it's Cooper Cup as well. So another receiver. Cooper Cup obviously has a Slotomatic and is pretty insane on those cuts. And yeah, Gunner just missed the throw.
A lot to have to deal with here. Zig route open. Oh my goodness. Oh, nearly intercepted actually by Delpit. Now, fourth and four. Can't really kick a field goal here. Do you use your coach's decision already to go for it in no man's land?
I always hate doing it so early, but it's so tempting right now. I'm not going
Yeah.
to hate it.
Yeah. This is just kind of like an awkward position. You can't kick a field goal from here. You're on like the very edge. It's fourth and four. I feel like it's short enough. I like this early aggressiveness out of Phil personally. And I think I would go for this here. Fourth and four. As coming out in dime. Phil could run this, and I wouldn't be shocked, although maybe a little less so now with the pinch D line. Harrison making a couple of adjustments. I like using Delpit. Four-man rush gets bagged up. as we have a nice in route there to Parker the second time that route concept's hit. And hey, coach's decision looking smart here because he got the first down.
Yep. And just taking advantage of that man coverage. Yeah, you're right. CMAS is just going to spam that, especially on critical down situations. And Phil taking good advantage.
Alvin Kamara, it's going to be, we're not going to see a lot of, I don't think, variance in the running game out of Phil. It's just going to be a lot of straight inside zones. And if it works, it works. We've already seen him, get loose on, I believe, the first run of the day. But he doesn't, I don't think Phil uses Alvin Kamara enough in the passing game, in my opinion. He's such a weapon out there, especially against his linebackers. I would like to see some more, angle routes, stuff like that, as we have play action here. As he goes to Knox, really nice click on and moving him slightly towards the ball there to ensure that the DB couldn't get to it.
Yeah, it's been a good drive by Phil so far.
Yeah,
making the plays he has to, getting separation on those routes.
As the crowd noise keeps cutting in and out. Are you able to hear the crowd noise consistently? Because for me, I'll hear it some and then it cuts out some. It's kind of weird.
I have it plumped down, but I'm not surprised.
It just came back. As we have 5 gifted subs by Bag Secure Boss to Archeo King, and then to 4 guys who should already be subbed, to Ben, to Hero Austin, to Justin, and to Crooked King Boss. Thanks so much for the 5 gifted subs. We love to see it. Second and 9, drag route open, goes to it. This is, like you said, Slotomatic. Cooper Kupp gets decleated, but Sure Hands holds on to it. Third and very short here.
Yep. He will be able to go for it if he doesn't get it. Because it's, there'll be a 4th and 1 unless he loses a yard or 2.
As we have a power run, and there's your loss of yards there, 4th and 2. And now is it illegal to go for it?
No, you can still go for it.
Oh, okay. Well, shit.
4th and 2 is good.
All right, 4th and 2 is good. Cool. As we're going to have more aggression out of Phil. Now deep in field goal range. Will elect to go for it. Gotta watch, of course, the tight ends here. Slotomatic, Cooper Kupp. There's a lot going on here that CMAS is going to have to account for. But CMAS, a very underrated, in my opinion, defensive user. Does a really good job with his linebacker. 4-man rush again. Bagged up here. Crossing route intercepted by Tanner Muse. And he goes down. But I think if he'd waited a second, he would have had that. Kind of rushed it, in my opinion. And 2 4th down conversions. That one gets picked off.
Yeah, I don't know what. He kind of panicked there. He had Cooper Kupp wide open in the flat on a little zig route. CMAS put a man on him, and he just cooked him, probably for an easy touchdown. But not what you're looking for. Maybe he should have snuck a little run in there on a 4th and 2.
Potentially, yeah. At least provide the threat of it. And I will say CMAS, for a second I thought he fumbled it there. That zoom out looked weird. But CMAS has completely changed his offense up from past Maddens. It's a lot of RPOs. It's a lot of option looks. I was very surprised when I played him earlier in the season because it was a lot of looks I just don't associate with CMAS. You can expect Malik Willis to keep it a lot. It's going to be tough kind of trying to contain him and Derrick Henry's. Phil does just that, contains both of them, 3rd and 4. But CMAS has really kind of completely changed his offense, and it's pretty interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, he had Joe Burrow before and traded him away. I think he was using Taysom Hill at the beginning of the season, and then he switched to Malik Willis. So 2 very fast quarterbacks to run those options and stuff like that. So not surprising he's completely switched his playbook.
Absolutely. What we're going to see right here is more of a traditional CMAS play call from past Maddens as he uses Browning, which is interesting. Ends up, risky read there. Drake London swatted away. And again, much like with CMAS, you can expect a lot of man coverage from Phil, especially on 3rd downs. And CMAS goes 1 here, 3 and out.
Yeah. Interesting. It's so weird seeing Derrick Henry go out and run a route. I mean, I don't know if he ever does that in real life. Correct me if I'm wrong. But
I don't think so.
I wonder what his route running is in this game. Short route running. Probably very bad. But he got bagged up in that man coverage, a little running back out.
Little fun story about Derrick Henry that I always like to tell. His dream school was Florida. He wanted to go to Florida. Former Florida coach Will Muschamp wanted to recruit him, but only at linebacker. So ended up going to Alabama instead because we would not recruit him at running back. 1st and 10.
Wow, that was such an L.
That's such, one of many L's by Will Muschamp. 1st and 10, minute 48, and This has been kind of an interesting game. Both teams just feeling each other out. Obviously, a lot of aggression by Phil early as he motions his Alvin Kamara out. Oh my goodness! A horrible throw by Gunner, intercepted by Connor, and this will be a pick six for Las Vegas.
Oh my goodness. Phil had such a good drive to start the game, and then basically 2 throws in a row. Very horrible.
Yeah.
Not what you're looking for, and yeah, that's I don't know what he's doing there.
And that's something you got to look out for. CMAS has a D line full of blinkers, including an under pressure in there. I think that was the difference. Like the out route was open, but he just like had a man in his grill, sailed it. We've seen kind of that exact miss so many times from quarterbacks when they have a guy in their face like that. And now 1st and 10, and like you were saying, Phil playing so well for the first few minutes, and now we've seen 2 straight picks, back-to-back plays. We shall see, how Phil handles it mentally here. It's gonna be a challenge for him as Gunnar Harrison hands it off to Kamara as a ad pops up, which that didn't happen back on my old computer. Now it is my new computer, but 2nd and 6.
Oh Jesus! I didn't even notice until you said it. 4 people on the line. 4 of 4 people that are superstar. That's crazy.
No, listen, I loaded in my game against CMAS. I saw that and I was like, oh, sweet baby Jesus, this is not gonna be a fun day. And it wasn't. It wasn't a fun day. 2nd and 6 as we approach the end of the first quarter here.
Well, I don't know what the Joe Burrow trade was. But I'm assuming he loaded up on defense.
Yeah, that would be, I guess, 2 4-man rush as Harrison drops back. Good use right here as Harrison does his best just to get that throw off.
Yeah, once again, the D-line just crashing in there. Very tough for Phil. Just looking at that again, he's probably throwing another pick if that ball gets off.
Yeah.
So he's got to settle in and maybe just take a sack if you have to. Just don't panic.
Yeah, just don't give CMAS any type of any more momentum. Had the flats open. Now we'll go to the flats. Oh my goodness, is Jair Alexander, acrobat Jair Alexander, almost with the play of his life there. Instead, probably gave Kamal the first down.
Man, acrobat isn't that something else? Oh Jesus!
I know.
But
awesome.
Yeah, you're right. It basically it kind of helped Phil a little bit, I think, because otherwise he would have probably gotten a tackle animation and got him short of the first down.
And the one thing about divisional matchups in playoffs, even though Phil's had a lot of success against CMAS this rebooted cycle, these guys know each other's tendencies by now, and you can kind of see that already with like CMAS's user. He's doing a really good job of taking away Phil's preferred reads, especially in these 3rd down situations here. 2nd and 12, pinches the D line, or the D tackles at least. Moves Tanner Muse up, and that'll be the end of the first quarter. All right, fun game so far.
Yeah, fun game. Obviously, 2 pretty regrettable turnovers from Phil, but it should be a good one. 3 quarters left of exciting football to go.
I'm expecting a chess match as this game goes on for sure here. 2nd and 12 as Gunnar Harrison makes some adjustments at the line. I see that star. I don't know what his abilities are, but he has some, so that's good. Zig route open goes to it. This is, that is Dawson Knox, who is a pretty underrated Madden, or I guess better league legend. We've seen Dawson Knox get active quite a lot across cycles.
Really? I'm not familiar. Who do you play for?
Yeah. Well, he played for Little Alex's Bills, was a really good weapon for him.
That's
played,
right.
I want to say for Morty at one point. But now he's a name that I recognize for sure, like across multiple cycles. I think we said his name a lot. As we have a 3rd and 8, to see Will drop back, drag route open, and man, that 4-man rush coming in screaming like that, Phil's gonna be in for a long day if that keeps happening.
Oh, yeah, holy crap! We talk sometimes about how it's about the shed luck sometimes.
Yeah.
The RNG shed luck. You don't know whether or not Madden's gonna give that to you, and CMAS is getting the shed so far.
Absolutely is. I mean, it's like I got the sheds against you, something crazy. Got like 8 sacks, and then Austin got some sheds against me. I mean, I got some too, so I don't want to make it sound like sour grapes, but it's just like it's funny how it flips game to game as Derrick Henry has nothing. Falls forward though.
Yeah, I think CMAS has a thing for Derrick Henry. I'm sure he used him in multiple cycles. Always wants to trade for him.
Well, didn't he trade for him in 21 and then trade him away after like 1 year or something like that? something crazy. He would have
Yeah.
had to be open instead of dumps it down to Derrick Henry.
I think there was like a player for player trade, like him or McCaffrey or something, but
I think so.
something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe it was a trade with Jesse. I kind of forget.
Jesse's a fan of those player trades, man. I think you're right. I think he did Henry for McCaffrey, and then he also with me did a Josh Allen for Patrick Mahomes swap in Madden 22. Like he just, Jesse will get active for sure in the trades. Does it always help him when he gets that active? Not necessarily, but he does get active, ladies and gentlemen. 3rd and 3, and this is a huge play for Phil. I mean, he needs, based on just the way this game's gone so far, based on the complete just lack of momentum he needs to hold CMAS really to 0 points here, in my opinion, to stay in this game mentally, as we have a DB fire, and he recognizes that really nicely. Drake London get a 4 in the first.
Yeah, I'm getting some old Connor computer energy, and my stream is buffering. I'm kind of down horrendous. So I do have the BLN stream on a backup though, and that was
that's good
first down.
Good battle through adversity here. QB wrap, which is a wonderful play in Madden 23. Honestly, Phil does a good job of limiting the damage there, but you can get some insane blocking on QB wraps.
Yeah, and like a lot of people tend to play the quarterback on options, and I think QB wrap is one of those plays where it doesn't work.
Correct.
So like the quarterback will just be on his own.
Yeah, you pretty much and good job by Phil there, taking away Henry and Wills once again. But that's a play where the coaching adjustments don't matter, and you pretty much have to just take it away with your user, or else it's going to be a long gain. And Phil, honestly, like, I've been generally impressed this game with Phil's run defense. He seems to be doing a pretty good job of like taking away multiple lanes, multiple decisions with his players. He drops back with Jake Browning, which is interesting, and no one's open. Malik Will's going to have to take off. And will he try to force this? No. Smart decision, in my opinion, throws it away.
Yeah, it looked like he was anticipating a blitz there, but Phil dropped everyone in coverage. So, little missed opportunity to get an extra player out and to run a route.
Dropped everyone in coverage, had a QB spy, and again, that man coverage is killing him. And CMAS pulling in Alex here, zooming out so you can see the punt indicator, which is something I love to see. You know how much I love that.
I have a question, Connor. I have a lore question. Mm-hmm. What are the odds that Alex puts his punter in the Hall of Fame?
Extremely high. Extremely high. I mean, I can't say 100%, but I mean, if he got bum-ass Chiaverini in there, I mean, it's only a matter of time before he puts a punter in there. He's gonna be like, man, but think about all the coffin corner kicks that I cheesed my way to. I'll protest.
We love our commissioner.
I'll protest if he puts it. No, listen, I love Alex too. I just don't like Alex's decision making at times. But it's okay. I mean, that's a brother. That's a Chicago brother. That's a Grand Rapids brother. He danced with me at Cam's wedding. I can only complain so much. But here we are, ladies and gentlemen, 2nd and 7. A lot of dime 2-3-6. Not super concerned about the running game as CMAS right now. And to be fair, Phil hasn't really given a reason to be concerned, as he will now try to. And now Alvin Kamara gets loose as soon as I say that. Kamara sheds a tackle. Gain of 10. That is Kamara's best rush of the day.
Yeah, good run by Phil. CMAS's user was just a little lost there, not attacking the run. And Phil taking advantage of that, getting quite a few yards.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, good recognition of what the formation was here. Now 1st and 10 is Alex, I'll get to you in a second. 1st and 10 as we have a quick dump off here. Good animation by Kamara to keep running, and he will get decleated by Seahawk legend IRL, Tariq Woolen. 2nd and 3.
Justin, I'm all in on Telfer, man. What a travesty. I'll say travesty. Should have been him, man. Team Justin.
Listen, I'll say that. Well, I'll say it after this play here, but 2nd and 3. Harrison making a couple of adjustments. Presses up to CMAS with his DBs. And to be fair, he is the DBs press up. Jair Alexander, Tariq Woolen. Accepted by Taylor Muse. Really nice user there. That was just really nice to CMAS.
Holy God, I'm not even sure Phil even saw him.
Nope.
I mean, he just hiding behind the line. Yeah. Wow. That's great user play by CMAS.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That was nice. And honestly, it wasn't a great read to begin with. I'm not really sure what he saw, like, even without Tanner Muse there. Um, I don't even get a kick arc at home. He deserves it, says Alex. As we have play action here. May have B open, goes to B. Drake London. Big boys in touchdown. Vegas.
Yep. Drake London, Atlanta Falcon. CMAS loves them, and it's a Madden 23 classic. High point it in the end zone. Let your big boy get down with the football.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I could never figure it out with Michael Pittman in the OG League, but that's what a lot of guys do. You know, you throw it up to your 6'3", 6'4", 6'5" receiver and let him go to work for you. And Boz getting hype in the chat saying, big boys make big plays. And I'll tell you what, CMAS is about to get this ball to start the second half. I mean, if Kansas City can't drive and score here, we may be in a really bad position here.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And back to big boys making big plays, and maybe not a big boy, it's like in that sense, but what about Jerry Jeudy today? Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness. He fought for his life. That was an insane play, man.
Fought for his life. Put everything out on the field. Left it all out there.
Absolutely. And then James Cook couldn't get me 1 yard when the lights were brightest. Although, I will say, Austin Steeline played really well here as we have a zig route to Dawson Knox once again, lays down a stiff arm. That will take us a 2-minute warning. 8 for 15, 74, but the looming stat there. 3 picks that are kind of deciding this game here.
Yeah. Phil needs points here.
Yeah, man.
There's no sugarcoating it. You need to come up with points. At least a field goal, preferably 7.
And you know, for CMAS coming out in dime 2-3-6 as much as he does, like he plays the run so well. Like it's so tough to play as fuck me, as Alvin Kamara gets a easy first down. What's his X factor?
Yeah. There have been a few plays where he did let up a few long runs like that, and he kind of let go with his user. But for the most part, yeah, he's been playing good run defense.
Absolutely. Tanner Muse, probably the MVP of this game so far, is flying all over the field. As here we go, Alvin Kamara gets decleated, but it's kind of chugging along now. And now Kansas City, for really the first time since the first drive of the game, starting to look more like their normal selves here, starting to put a drive together. And we have an Ocho sighting. Dan, what do you have to say to your fellow, Dan?
Oh, hello, Dan. I don't know. Just how you doing?
Absolutely electric stuff there. As we have was that a trap? Was that a power O? Power O out of gun there. But I'll tell you what, he made a critical mistake, Dan. He ran it to the right. Can't be doing that.
Oh yeah. The counter goat knows there's only one direction you can go, and it is the opposite of right.
Second and 8. 55 seconds remaining, 2 timeouts. We're going to see some aggression here. Briefly had Kamara open. Ooh, and that's, tough animation. I was about to say that's the best deep throw he's made all day, but never mind. Cooper Kupp wanted no part of it.
Yeah, and I'm sure he wanted Kamara on the little angle route, but Tanner Muse, once again, in user coverage, taking that out. Left Gunnar Harrison looking down the field for other options. And Cooper Kupp, not a bad option at all, but a little too late on that.
Nah, certainly not here. 3rd and 8. As, again, as is form, as is tradition, we're going to see some man coverage here on 3rd and 8. And I expect Delpit... Honestly, I expect Kamara to be on another angle route here, and then I expect Delpit to come down and take it away. Would be if I have to put on my Nostradamus Rice on. Well, no, he just goes to the flats here as Parker does not get the first time. It's smart timeout by Vegas, but I don't know. Do you put 3 on the board here? Do you try to go for it again? I've already gotten stuffed once at 4th and 2.
Oh, that's so tough.
This is hard for me.
You're asking. It depends really who has the ball to start the second half. I know CMAS does, so might as well just go for it.
I suppose so. And there's no real psychological advantage to 3 instead of 0. You're still down multiple possessions, so I get this.
It's not like he's playing terrible defense either.
No, yeah.
His one touchdown was off a short field.
Gunnar Harrison with a nice read. Cooper Kupp gets sticky and gets decleated, but the second 4th down conversion of the game, and we are going to see no huddle here. I would have timeout Raiders. Yeah,
Yes.
timeout Raiders.
Yeah, CMAS probably just trying to get the ball back. It's kind of a futile effort, if you ask me. 27 seconds to go.
Yeah.
Just kind of
Th-
it kind of takes pressure off Phil too
This
to
should
call
be
a timeout.
this should be trap city
And
here out of the Chiefs, but I don't know if there's even a trap out of this formation. Truth be told, he will drop back, 4-man rush, zig route, not open, intercepted by Jair Alexander. Cooper Kupp doing his best just to prevent the pick six, and that has been the story of the game, Dan. I mean,
man,
Phil's he's driving and then he just sells right by the end zone.
yeah. Yeah, and that's just two ability players going at it. Two of the best in the game, Alexander and Kupp. That time, Jair got the best of them, and Phil probably just thought, "Hey, let's just run that little out route, old reliable there." Didn't work that time.
I'd call timeout here, try to get a 10-yard rush with Henry because he's freight train, right?
Oh, really?
I think he does.
I guess the freight train people are always thinking about that.
Choo choo. Steele saying, "Hi, boss." Boss saying, "Bad throw there." Yes, that was a horrendous throw. That is the second now just horrendous throw to a zig route we've seen in these playoffs. One of them will live in my nightmares tonight, ladies and gentlemen, as 14-0, CMAS about to get the ball. It really doesn't feel like we've seen CMAS's offense much at all. It doesn't feel like he's done a ton, but he still finds himself in a really good position here, and I don't even know, I don't even know what defensive adjustments Phil should make. Like, he's playing well, I think, on defense. Is just stop throwing picks.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. As I said, there's only been one touchdown, and it was a one-play deep post off of a short field. So every other drive, I think, has been a 3-and-out. Maybe not 3-and-out, but very quick punts.
We have we have a touch pass here. Devin Duvernay takes it out. I love those animations where you just like trip and fall 3 feet in the air there. 2nd and 12, but we have Alex, CMAS, Dan, Ocho, Boz, Justin, Steele. I'm sure so many more people coming, and we're here. Ladies and gentlemen, Better League Network is here. We're going to have 3 more streams later tonight at 9, 10, and 11 Eastern, including, Dan, your game against Cody. And let me ask you real quick, how you feeling about that game?
I feel all right. I mean, Cody traditionally has beaten me pretty well in the playoffs the past couple seasons. But, I felt pretty good this season. Chambers really came into his own. I think the defense has been stepping up big. So, should be a fun one. I'm excited. I know he's going to give me a good game, and I will give him a good game. So
2nd and 12 as Willis got screamed at there. And that's one of those, like, Madden 23, he took forever to throw the ball. He, like, winds it up. It was like a Tim Tebow animation there.
yeah, the throwing motions have been very weird, especially, like, on the short balls. It really depends on what motion you have in order to get the ball out in, like, a drag or something. Like, I know my quarterback is pretty trash at throwing in short.
Your MVP quarterback. Your MVP quarterback. Good user.
Nobody's perfect.
Going to be forced to get the dump off. And, hey, another 3-and-out here. I mean, again, this offense not doing a ton. It's just Phil. I say this is more a case of Phil losing the game than CMAS winning it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Really, like, if Phil just took a couple sacks instead of throwing those picks like we said earlier, this might be like a tie game. This might be like 3-3 or something like that.
I would love to commentate just a defensive grind fest, like a 3-3 at halftime. Like that would be fun to see.
I hate to say it. I don't know if anyone in this league is like disciplined enough to not like make a mistake, because it's so hard. You're like when you're getting shut out and your opponent like. It's such a grind. It's like whoever makes the first mistake, it's all over. And then like you're thinking, I gotta score though. And then you do something hasty.
Yeah, especially when you get in the red zone. It's like, it's so your eyes kind of light up and stuff like that. Yeah, so Alex, we threw this stream together, or I threw the stream together very last minute. I don't have my mic audio set up. It's just like my regular PC audio. Next stream, I should have it set up where my audio is much better than it is now. But sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen.
Actually, I think if Ocho's in the chat still,
Mhm.
I did some research. Obviously, I remember I charted off every playoff game that was ever played. So there was a game in Madden 18. It was Ocho's Raiders versus I think Sean G, and their
Oh
game was
wow.
like 3-0 in the divisional round. Maybe it was like
I
6-3. It was something
I
like that.
vaguely remember that as woo, he fits that angle route in on a rope.
Well, we'll have to see if Ocho remembers that.
Nah,
But yeah, good play by Camaro.
I remember that because I remember throwing emojis on the Daddy Leaks when it got posted announcements. And I was just like, damn. Yeah, Steele. So the story of this game is Phil. I mean, probably has far more offensive yards than CMAS. He's like driving pretty consistently, and then he just like he fucks up in the red zone consistently. And CMAS to his credit, getting some max pressure and also avoiding mistakes on the offensive side of the ball with CMAS, which honestly has been the most important thing he can do right now, because right now Phil's kind of self-combusting. But we have another good, we start to the drive here, 2nd and 1 of the 28 here, as he gets trapped in nickel double A gap. I would probably call timeout here, but he doesn't. Instead drops back, has the drag route open again, goes to it. Cooper Kupp, so many hits, 6-man. CMAS is landing him like prime Justin Thiele here.
And we haven't really seen a fumble yet this game.
No,
We
no.
saw some in your game against Austin, a
Yes.
couple,
Yes.
and we talk about the fumbles have been increasing in frequency. So
Yeah.
maybe we'll see one down the road, a critical situation in this one.
Well, as soon as I saw Austin Jurtle, I was like, all right, dude, this is getting stripped. And luckily we were able to do it. 1st and 10. As, again, 4-man rush. It will get Shed's quick dump off to Alvin Kamara. And once again, I mean, this is, I think, the 3rd time that Kansas City's been in the red zone. Will they be able to convert here? So we have more no huddle. Ooh, I'm running this. I am running this.
Yeah, absolutely.
He will not good usering here. Oh, risky. Oh, my
Ooh.
God. Wow.
Wow.
That was so close to
And
the
I mean, Parker one-on-one against Alexander, that's a tough matchup, and that's so risky, test an acrobat like that, but Phil got lucky a little bit, and wow.
I mean, he threw that on the
Game.
run, running backwards damn near against an acrobat DB. Still ends up, it still ends up with a touchdown, so you can't hate it too much. Thank you, Dan, for throwing that in there. I was going to try to ignore that question, but 14-7, as Duvernay's going to take it out. Has a little bit of room, but only takes it to 22. And now, will CMAS be able to put his first long drive of the game together? We'll see.
Yep. I talked about this about Austin earlier. It's like, I think it's a big test of a champion to see if you're up in a slim margin, are you able to put away games?
Yes.
And it's not necessarily 4th quarter right now, but I mean, if you put another touchdown on the board here, that puts a lot of pressure on Phil.
The official narrative out of Cincinnati is that Austin needs too many coaches' decisions, so we got robbed. That's the official narrative. 14-7. Even though it didn't matter at all when it came to the game flow, it's still, there we are. As Derrick Henry for the first time has room. Henry, and I'm surprised we didn't see CMAS try to lay the lumber there. He didn't do much of anything.
Yeah,
you got Derrick Henry.
Henry. Yeah, he's not really getting physical. He's just kind of like he's using him more of like a finesse running back, more like a receiving back.
Yeah, I mean, you got to get the man downhill. You got oh my goodness, it's Javonte. Woo, diving tackle there prevents what could have been a touchdown, but yep. Whenever you see that dual running back formation out of pistol, it's probably a triple option, and there, Javonte gets a nice game.
And that's Phil's favorite player from last cycle. Yeah, that dominant playoff run that ended in a Super Bowl loss. I think it was like a calendar year ago at this time.
Something's near dear to his heart since he will take a deep shot here. Drake London comes down with it again, and that is the 2nd time that Drake London has just put his body and heart on the line there on one of those one-on-ones.
Yeah, and CMAS talked about it earlier in the cycle. I don't know if he does the same kind of technique with the high balls, but he talked about how he kind of mastered those high balls with Drake London when he was on the Falcons. Good to see he's still being productive on the Raiders in our reboot.
Absolutely. Now 14-7. Las Vegas knocking on the doorstep for one of the first times all game, as we will I mean, there's so much you have to take credit. Keenan Allen's on the team. What the hell? I'm not sure I even knew that. As like Derrick Henry breaks a couple tackles, falls forward. Gotta hold him to 3 here.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to stiffen up here. And if you're CMAS, you might as well just pound the rock with Henry. Don't make any critical mistakes.
No reason not to. I mean,
Right here. Don't even look at this.
Box, Derrick Henry. I was about to say you better get in there. Touchdown, Raiders.
Yeah, Henry finally getting physical. Finally. Paying off.
Took long enough. See, rocks the baby to sleep there, 21-7, and that's a really good response drive out of CMAS. You know, he's struggled a little bit on offense, was kind of punched in the mouth for the first time all game by a Phil touchdown, and just came right back and brought this right back to a 14-point lead. And now Phil gonna have to respond here. Certainly has time to, but we'll have to see. We'll have to see how.
Oh, absolutely, he's got plenty of time.
Exactly. We'll see how aggressive he gets here, especially in the passing game. Is we're going to see some more dime coverage out of CMAS. That's annoying me. I want to know what Kamara's X factor is. I guess we'll never know. 1st and 10. Brings the safeties down. Playing the run a little bit more. As he will drop back. Might have a man deep. Instead, Harrison going to take off. Throw this ball away. Yep.
Yeah, this man coverage, Phil's gotten some separation sometimes, but it's been pretty suffocating so far.
Yeah.
Although I don't know if he's been shading over top on the cover 2 man. I always say, why don't you, if your opponent's dropping down on that deep blue, throw a streak on his side. Because that guy's looking for safety help.
I thought the streak on the left side may have had a step there, but also it was to Jair Alexander. So like I get not wanting to test him. Yeah. Would have been nice there as Harrison would drop back, goes to the quick dump off there. Kamara with a bit of an interesting animation is we now have 3rd and 5, and with coach's decision already, although no, down multiple possessions in the second half, you're good.
Yeah.
But well, fuck my point then. Boz saying really great 3 quarters out of CMS. Yeah, it's been kind of like he hasn't been explosive in the offense, but he's played it safe. He's I think recognized that Phil's struggling on offense, and he's played just like a smart, just tactically just sound game here. He's doing a good job.
This should be a run. You should at least pick up a couple yards.
I would agree. But he will go to the... Ooh, it's Michael Thomas.
Michael Thomas
running a slant route. Shocking. 1st and 10. Dang, that's the slant god right there. Michael Thomas didn't do shit for me when I had him. I was so pissed off. But... And I know you famously had bad experiences with him as well. Final play before the 4th quarter. Gunnar Harrison will drop back, has Kamara open, goes to Kamara, and he will shed a tackle. Oh my goodness. Alvin Kamara fighting for his life here. Kamara takes it.
Wow.
30-yard line, and ladies and gentlemen, you're not going to get any screaming out of me today, but...
Put your 4s in the chat!
Wow, that's electric. I didn't even need to say anything. But put your 4s in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. We're here.
Oh, I with that pause, I thought you were like bluffing us when you said like you're not going to scream today, and then you were ripping one up. I was prepared to cover my ears.
CMAS played the soundboard, much appreciated, and now Phil driving again, 2-1-7, an all-out blitz, and he gets home diving. Tackle there prevents what honestly could have been a touchdown.
That was something you see out of Morty sometimes. God bless his better league soul. Hopefully he returns in 24.
Yes.
But Morty loved,
I'm gonna be pissed off if he doesn't. But yeah, keep going.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, but Morty loves the user blitz sometimes. Just randomly send the user. Catch your opponent off guard.
Yeah,
Pretty
absolutely.
good defensive call.
2nd and 10 is the... Oh, my goodness. I was about to say Dawson Knox absolutely torched his DB there, but not able to get the throw off. And now 3rd and 10. Phil with another tester here.
Yep, and gun empty. This is going to be interesting. Yeah. Although he's not coming out in man this time.
No, he's not. He's kind of in like a man line, but he's not actually in man, which may fool Phil as he will drop back. Has a cut move. That's not open. Is intercepted by Grant Delpit. Will this be a pick 6? Probably. Only Gunnar Harrison can take him down. Gets a little sticky. Oh,
Wow.
My goodness. Touchdown Raiders, and that probably will seal it here.
Yeah. And once again, just another unforced error from Phil and Gunnar Harrison. Just you see that in the top ticker. 5 turnovers to 0. That's the main difference of this game.
Yeah, you're not going to win a lot of playoff games with a -5 turnover differential. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah. And if you think about it, there's only been 2 offensive touchdowns from CMAS. So,
Yes.
and 2 pick sixes. So,
Yes. And one of
it's
them
not
was
like
on
your opponent's been.
right. One of them
been
was on
having
short
a lot of
field
offensive
generated
production.
by pick, so it's like, yeah, I mean, it's really the defense, the stifling defense here out of CMAS that has pretty much won in this game. Firing those unforced errors like us to pick. Boss, don't break my heart like that. Do not break my heart like that. 28-7. Shout out to my tennis queens, as we have. He's got to get 7 on the board. He's got to get 7 on the board right now as he does have a man open. Goes to it, Parker, and that's really the first deep shot we've seen all day that's worked for Phil.
Yeah. And he's just, that's all really Phil has right now is just relying on those corner routes and those routes that separate man coverage. Like he's got good receivers to do it, but it's not been sustainable this game, especially when CMAS's man coverage is hitting on those plays.
1st and 10 as once again pinches D line, and he will drop back. Has Kamara open. Not a lot going there, and it really feels like, you know, CMAS is kind of like content, or has been content to give up the flats, and he just knows, that his guys will come up and make the tackle immediately, as he will once again go to the zig route. Parker, good tackle there by Jair. More no huddle here. Again, gotta get going. So we approach 6 minutes left here, down 3 possessions. Had a few guys open there. Just a tough game out of Phil. I don't know how many more ways I can say it.
Yeah, Phil's going to want this one back. Absolutely.
It's like, it's not like he's been like horrible all game. He's had good drives, he's had good moments, but then yeah, he's just like costing himself way too much, way too much. And it's unfortunate. Did Kansas City just call timeout? No,
CMAS did.
Oh, that's a fucking outlaw of a timeout if that's what Kansas City did. But JK.
Just to go show how locked in CMAS is on defense. He's still every play trying to stop him. Not relenting.
Ooh, a nice little seam shot there to Dawson Knox, and we're probably going to see more no huddle. Yes, we do. A nice little ass shot there of Knox. That's what we love to see here on Better League Network. As Harrison make a couple of adjustments, he will once again drop back. Is a good using there. I don't like that. Ooh, really should have been the 6th pick of the game.
Yeah. And CMAS's user has just been so on point today. No matter if he's using the safety over top or Tanner Muse down below, he's just been taking everything out.
Yeah. It's been, it's an untraditional way to win a play, or at least by Better League standards. It's an untraditional way to win a playoff game, but he's just like, it's field position and it's defense, right? Like, that's how he's won this game. And like, he's recognized like what type of game it was going to be pretty quickly, and he's like played this to perfection, like from a just coaching standpoint. Really, really impressive, truth be told, as CMAS. And, from a guy who, we have a, oh my God. Oh my God.
Cody's throwing his hands up. Looks like Jamar Chase out there.
Austin's throwing his hands up too, because he had a wide open seam shot against me where his player did that. I forget who.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Feels like we've seen that more and more. And maybe there's been a patch, maybe something, but my God. But I mean, CMAS, for a guy who like at times can get kind of impatient in playoff games and I won't say panic, but just like get needlessly aggressive, he's played this really well. Just really, really well.
Yeah, for sure.
And
you never know. Maybe if he plays like this, I think there's a good chance he can make a good run.
Intercepted by Simmons again, had the underneath wide open, and this will not be a pick 6. But Gunnar Harrison goes out in a ball of flame here. 6 picks by the Chiefs, and that's going to officially wrap things up here.
Yeah, not very nice ending to his season.
No.
It's going to set up, because I think CMAS is the 3 seed. It'll set up him versus Austin in the divisional round. which will be a good game. They always produce good games. So,
An all-time
should be a
classic
fun
Super Bowl.
matchup, and yep, should be a fun matchup. Shout out Super Bowl 30, great night. But anyway, Austin has been playing very sloppy, I think, on offense. We saw it a lot in your game. We saw it a lot throughout the season, looking at stats. And CMAS has been playing today, at least, lockdown defense. So I think CMAS has a very good chance of moving on to the AFC Championship and, potentially the Super Bowl right now. He's in a great position.
CMAS, not looking too far ahead, and I definitely don't want to discount Austin's chances, 9-time Super Bowl champ and all, but like a CMAS Tahuti AFC Championship would be very interesting. Like real interesting. Especially with the way CMAS has like transformed his offense into like an offense you might see like out of Tahuti. Don't throw this. Yep, thrown away. Smart. And no reason not to punt it here. Just, again, play field position, and Phil's not going to come back here.
Yep, absolutely. And yeah, this game's pretty much over. It is over.
It is, yeah. I mean, truthfully, even if Phil gets like a one-play touchdown here, you don't have time unless something like crazy happens on defense. Phil has time to regroup, retool, and re-engage for one final run next season. Shout out to the overwhelming majority of people that want to call it quits. Shout out to y'all. 1st and 10. 4:15 remaining.
I'll tell you what. I didn't think Cody and Ben expected that pull to backfire like it did.
Nope.
And like a lot of people came out of the woodwork. Like Dr. Gamble voted yes. Like
Sorry, go ahead.
Gamble voted yes. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Tough scene there.
Interesting fumble.
And that's
There's
the
the fumble we were talking about.
That's the first turnover of the day for Phil that wasn't his fault. That's just tough.
That's an interesting animation. I don't know if you've ever seen that before.
It was a
Very unique fumble animation.
Yeah, it was almost like he like shoulder checked him and then like the guy just dropped it. Yeah, it was like very interesting. We can fully expect, of course, to see or to hear CMAS in the interview room after this. I doubt we'll get Phil in here, but just is questionable using there by Phil. Javonte Williams gonna take it for a touchdown. A little salt in the wound there, but I think CMAS is gonna be very. I think CMAS is going to be very proud of himself for how he played, and deservingly so. This was a very just smartly played game by him from snap number one, and he definitely deserves the win here.
Yeah, and I think this is a very liberating game from him because we talked about him really struggling against Phil this cycle.
Yeah.
And it's not been a good matchup. Phil basically won every game, and he'd kill him. He would just destroy him at times, and not today. He completely flipped the script, and it's got to be sweet to win a playoff game and say, "Hey, I won the one that counts."
So, in terms of the theme of, I guess, vindicating wins, Dan, what would you say is your win in your Battle League career that's most like that, where you were able to completely flip a narrative, or maybe oh my god, intercepted by Simmons, but I guess what I'm trying to say is maybe you finally beat someone who owned you that cycle and it felt really good, or just what's the most vindicating win would you say you've ever had?
It would probably be last cycle against Cody in the NFC Championship, won in the final second off a touchdown. Because at that point I had never beaten him in a playoff game. I lost 2 Super Bowls against him. I've actually had a lot of games like that. I can remember beating CMAS in a wild card round. That was very exciting. I remember just shutting everyone up by beating Austin in my first Super Bowl win. Mm-hmm. That was exciting. So, winning is a good feeling. It heals a lot of, problems people bring forward in chat.
That is very true. 3rd and 7.
How about you, Connor? Talk about your vindications.
I mean, definitely, the entire Super Bowl run I made was vindicating. I honestly, I would say my most vindicating win, other than just all of season 29, was last cycle, my divisional round win against Little Alex, the one that I won.
Mm-hmm.
Where he almost came all the way back at the end, because that to me was me proving that I like belonged, in the elite conversation again, because I played like pretty much perfect that game, and it was a game where like pretty much everyone was picking Little Alex to beat me just based on the fact that like he had made 2 straight Super Bowls, he had not lost a NFC playoff game up till that point, and I just felt like I played really well that game, and I was like, yeah. I'm here too, it's all good.
Yeah, I think it was 3 straight Super Bowls he went to.
Yes.
And you ended that streak.
Yeah. So that felt good for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But,
if you want to talk about full runs for myself, it's got to be season 33. That Norman Fletcher Super Bowl run. I love that. I love my guys. That was a wonderful day, wonderful set of days.
After a certain humble host was just like disrespecting Fletcher the entire cycle, and Bernard from the bottom
Everyone
was disrespecting him. Yes, every single person ends up as a Super Bowl champion, and you cannot disrespect a Super Bowl champion. Not now, not ever. Boy, 7 picks out of Connor Harrison. That just hit me. That's wild.
It just, these kind of stories we're telling, it just goes to show you, the storied history of Better League and all the years we put into this. It's been fun.
Yeah, dude. I mean, this is what, season 44 that we're on? 43?
Yep. 44.
44. I mean, yeah, you're going to get, just from a competition standpoint, you're going to get a lot of stories when you've played each other for that long. I mean, it's been a fun, 7 years at this point. And, I mean, the league's, even with the reboot and everything, the league's never been stronger. Like, Madden 24, I expect to be a banger of a cycle.
Hell yeah. We're going to bring the competition back. It's going to be sweaty. It's going to be fun. The team building, once again, it'll be fun. And, we're going to bring back exciting rule changes that we've been talking about. And it's going to be a hell of a cycle. Hopefully EA doesn't disappoint. Give us a shitty game.
Yeah, that would suck. Wheel route was open instead. The 8th interception, and will Seamass take this back?
Wow.
Yes, he does. Pick 6.
I think he wants 9. That's what that means.
9 turnovers for Kansas City.
Yeah, it's been quite a stinker for Phil today.
Yeah, this is one of those games that sits with you for a while, and you're just like disgusted with yourself when you play. I mean, Lord knows I've had this type of performance before, and I'm sure you have before. Everyone has at some point.
Everyone has
come out and laid an absolute stinker like this, but yeah, this is gonna stick with Phil for a while. I think it never feels good to lose like this.
Nope, and I hope. I just hope a guy like Phil takes his energy and puts it into one more season of Madden 23 football.
I'm sure
that's my number one priority as a member of the league, is just to rally the troops and make sure everyone is locked in for more football.
As the clock hits 0 and the fat lady sings a dominant wire-to-wire 42-7 divisional victory in the wild card round here by Seamass's Las Vegas Raiders over to 7 Kansas City. Now I can hear myself again. Jesus Christ. By Seamass's Las Vegas Raiders. But Seamass, well, yeah, we'll talk to Seamass first. Just a dominant win. How you feeling?
I feel pretty level-headed, which is weird. I thought I would be more like, let's fucking go. But it was more so just like, I think just Phil just didn't have a good day. I give myself credit offensively for like noticing like pretty early on, like today's just not Phil's day offensively. So let's just like keep putting the ball back in let's just keep like, we'll play it safe. Give it to Derrick Henry, some RPOs. We'll take a couple deep shots one-on-one with Drake London, hope for the best. But I was okay with just playing a conservative style of football if Phil was going to have that kind of day. And he just didn't have his best day. I feel bad for him because he usually owns me for the most part. I do think that he did have a little bit of a disadvantage of the fact that he hasn't played me since I've made the trade to trade away Joe Burrow. And so my offense is like completely different. My defense has guys that can actually cover Dawson Knox and Cooper Kupp now. So I think I might have thrown him off a little bit early on. And I feel pretty good. I wish Phil best of luck next season. I'm sure we'll be right back here, both of us in the playoffs again. But feel pretty good about advancing. It's been a while since I won a playoff game, probably since I was the Falcons. So feeling pretty good.
Yeah, I'm going to ask you, not about that game, but about the trade. I mean, people are always going to, kind of raise their eyebrows when you trade away a superstar quarterback like Burrow. But like, how do you think? And obviously, you may have heard me. I was talking a bit about how you've kind of like completely revamped your offensive style since you've gotten, Malik Wilson, Derrick Henry, and all them. Like, how do you feel? Is it like, do you feel like that trade has improved your chances to, truly contend and get to where you want to be here?
Yeah, 1,000%. I feel like my problem is I don't think I was a good enough passer to compete my easy mode versus other easy modes.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? Let me just get as many defensive studs as I can. Let me get a mutt defense, put the controller down, and then offensively, I'm just gonna just play it safe. I've watched a lot of Duhuti games, and I give him a lot of credit. He plays a hell of an offense, and I tried to mirror a little bit of that. Just conservative RPO type, but I'll take a deep shot if it's there one on one with my big guy. Got a slot-o-matic in there if I need it. So that's kind of what my goal was, and I picked up Jerry Alexander, who's a stud. Isaiah Simmons, who he's given me the flexibility to play a lot of three safety looks and have him in the box, so I can play those 2-3-6s and still be able to stop the run a little bit because I got a huge ass safety like Isaiah Simmons, who's 6'3", 250 and can run 93 speed. So it was just a huge trade for me on defense, and then I was able to steal Aiden Hutchinson away from Cam, which helped a lot to give me those 4 blinkers on the line. So if I got all those DBs that can cover plus 4 superstars on the offensive line, it's like offensively, let's just kind of give it to Derrick Henry, and we'll convert the 3rd and 3 or 3rd and 2 when it comes up.
Dan, what do you got?
First of all, before I ask the question, I want to say I love like the NFL and BL as a whole, as well as a very copycat league. And
Yeah.
I just love when, there's that person that says, hey, when everyone's zigging, let me zag. So I love that attitude that of your team building approach this season. But I just want to go back to your defense. Your defense played phenomenal today. And specifically your user. I think your user was way on point, just taking everything Phil had out. I just want to ask you about that and how you felt.
Yeah, that first pick was, that was all CPU, let's be honest. If he had just been patient, maybe another half second, he probably would have had the guy in the end zone, and Tanner Muse picked that one off. The second user, honestly, I always have that thought, and I kind of stole it. I forget who it was. I see Morty do it a lot. They just like rushes their user a lot. But basically, if I don't have a free rush to the quarterback, I'm going to hide behind the line and then try to sneak one. And it just so happened that Cooper Kupp was coming behind me. So I don't think he ever saw me. So I felt good about that. But it like I said, it helps when I have guys like Isaiah Simmons and Tanner Muse out there. These guys that are, big ass linebackers / safety, that I can kind of play that way with my user, still have 90 plus speed and still have size. And it just really helped me out to be able to do that. Plus, I've played Phil 1,000 times at this point, it feels like. And so for the most part, I know what he's looking for. And this is the first time I felt like it actually could put Cooper Kupp on an island with Jerry Alexander and just worry about the middle.
CMAS, I do have one more question for you, but we'll go to Phil real quick, just in the interest of not making him sit around for too long here.
Of course.
Phil, obviously not the end of the season you wanted. Still a great season out of your Kansas City Chiefs. Just talk about the game. How you feeling?
Was that me? Yeah.
Yeah.
It was pretty rough, and I think CMAS said this was just a completely different type of game to every other game I played. Not even just against CMAS, but against everyone else. I'm used to just Kupp. If he's in man, he is open. It hasn't even been a question all season. I think, I made some dumb mistakes. CMAS had a great user pick. My QB made a bad throw. But it was mostly just it took me too long to adjust. I think by the end I was kind of adjusted. Michael Thomas was being his man pretty consistently, I felt. But I must have left 20 points on the board in the red zone with picks, which is just fucking stupid. I don't feel that bad. I just got I encountered a new situation that I didn't play well enough, pretty much. But I can learn for next season. Like Seema said, the changes he made to his defense, they kind of feel like they're just anti-Phil defense now. The pass rush is insane. He's got a guy just to kill, just to stay with Kupp. And then, there were balls I was throwing to Knox where I'm just used to him bringing them down. And then Isaiah Simmons is going, well, I'm bigger than you, so I'm just going to take it now. It's a pretty scary. I take it as a compliment, that CMAS has dedicated so much energy to neutralize me.
Yeah, you're living rent free in my mind.
But no, it was a good game. I'm pretty happy to make the playoffs. I had like 3 or 4 forced losses. I
Same.
moved the ball pretty well. But yeah, I mean, new situation, didn't adapt fast enough. Like maybe next season,
Hey man, just on the topic of making improvements to your team, we do obviously have one more season of this cycle. I think everyone's going to be, everyone who's still locked in are going to be pretty aggressive in terms of team building, in terms of, going all out for free agents, stuff like that. Like, what do you see right now as the biggest hole on your roster that you can kind of shore up to further compete next season?
I think I need a third receiver. So I tried to get, I got Anthony Schwartz with the intention of like developing him, but just hasn't done anything. And like this game kind of shows that when the Cubs getting backed up, I only really have Michael Thomas to rely on, and he's pretty old at this point. Other than that, I fucking love I like my team quite a lot. I would want to have a shutdown cornerback, but that's not realistic without breaking up my team. So
Yeah. Dan, what do you got?
Not much. I just if I had a question, I just ask you what would you take back from this game? I know it was a tough game and everything like that, but what would you say turned the tables, or if you go back in time an hour, what would you change?
it would just be a different game plan. I wouldn't focus on Cup as much. I'd be using him to run dummy routes and then freeing up Michael Thomas. I don't know why Knox never got open either. But yeah, I think I should have used Michael Thomas and Parker more. And I think I moved the ball up the field pretty well, doing that in the sort of third and fourth quarter. It's just when I got to the red zone there was issue. Defensively, probably pretty well, Mm-hmm. I don't think CMS got more than 200 yards. It was just I threw some fucking stupid picks, and that cost me.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird game, but people who didn't watch the game are gonna see, the stat line, the Gunnar Harrison stat line, be like, oh, Phil was like fucking awful on offense, but like you weren't necessarily you were driving pretty consistently. It was just it feels like once the field compressed on you and you got in the red zone, that was where Reed's got kind of shaky. Maybe Gunnar made a bad throw or two, but CMAS, going back to you, obviously we'll get your kind of final thoughts on the game. But my last question for you is, you're playing against Austin now. This is someone that you obviously you know very well. You have playoff history with. You've both been in the league at this point for a long, long time. I guess I'll just ask you for your preview of that matchup in the divisional round.
Yeah, I mean, we can almost guarantee it's going to be a one possession game. I feel like every single game we've played has been one possession, except for the second Super Bowl we played. So I know it's going to be a good game. It's really going to come down to my defense versus his offense. Are we going to be able to slow him down with easy mode? We played earlier this year, and I lost by like one possession, of course, where I missed a blocked field goal to be able to have a chance to win. And he recovered 2 of his own fumbles. So, I mean, we'll see. I think it's going to be a great game. It could go either way. I mean, it's probably going to come down to the end per usual. And so far, Austin has had the experience and he's proven that he's been the better user and has won all those games. But hopefully we can turn it around and maybe force one more incompletion. He was one of my first games with my new offense, kind of trying out my new offense. So hoping I can do a little bit better this time around against him. But fantastic. Should be a good game. Great user. Him with any quarterback is dangerous, but the fact that he has easy mode makes it just that much harder. And I look forward to it whenever it happens.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun one, man. I look forward to it. And, thank you to both of you for coming in the booth and for your good, your good answers to our questions here. I guess I'll just, CMAS, do you have anything else you'd like to say before we shut this thing off?
Thank you so much, guys, for calling my game. Phil, I appreciate you staying up. Obviously, I think it's already Saturday at your time. So I appreciate you, compensating a little bit. No, it's not compensating, but maybe it is compensating.
It's weekend. I don't have
it's the week. Yeah. Well, I mean, I appreciate you staying up, being a good sport. A lot of people might not come in here after 10 turnovers or whatever it was. So I appreciate you, appreciate Dan, appreciate Connor, and especially Connor for getting the vibes back for the playoff football. Like him posting that post about 4 games getting calmed. Not gonna lie, got me a little bit more locked in. So Phil, if you have anybody to blame, it's Connor. It wasn't you that did those takes. It was because Connor fucked it all up.
I mean, it's fun. I enjoyed the game, even though it was shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks for doing the coming, Connor. I look forward to listening back and hearing you rag on me, which I'm sure you did. But it's quite deserved, I think. Yeah. Thanks both.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you. Dan, thanks so much for joining me. Again, if y'all, just for those of you who are still sticking around here in the stream, we have 3 straight games coming up, 3 straight playoff games. It's going to be Packers versus Bears at 9. That's going to be CMAS putting on his play-by-play hat along with me in the commentary booth. Commanders v Cardinals at 10, and then Saints Cowboys at 11, all times Eastern. So make sure to stick around for those. But congrats to CMAS, 42-7 win over Phil's Kansas City Chiefs. He will move on to the divisional round and play Austin's Patriots, which will be a fun one.